Good day, viewer. You're most welcome to the NILE CAST on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day. Every day, my name is Okumuringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines today, residents welcome the partial opening of Kawenzenti Health Center 3 in Arua District. Westnile tourism stakeholders discuss developing the Westnile brand in Arua City. And new initiatives to tackle mental health among children launched in Gulu District. This and more in the NILE CAST News Bulletin. A warm welcome, viewer, to the NILE CAST on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. The Westnile tourism stakeholders had a consultative meeting organized by Sales International with support from GIZ and Uganda Tourism Board to discuss, validate and identify tourism drivers within the tourism ecosystem in order to visualize, design and develop Westnile brand. Take a look. GIZ, in collaboration with Sales International and Uganda Tourism Board, convened a multi-stakeholder capacity building meeting with the tourism stakeholders in the Westnile region, themed Visualizing the Westnile brand, to discuss and identify key tourism drivers within the tourism ecosystem in order to develop the visualization and design of the Westnile tourism brand. Dr. Celestine Katongole, the Chief Executive Officer of Celeste International, stated that it is important to build the capacity of the stakeholders to impart skills that will transform and bring out the potential of the tourism product, thus building the tourism market in the Westnile region.
It is important to identify and assess the resources which are in the region so that we are able to build the capacity of the people for the products that have a market, to impart skills that are relevant, to impart skills that are going to help them transform the potential that they have into actual products. And we have identified that actually West Nile is a hidden gem. It's a region with an abundance of resources, but these resources have not been exploited. They have not been converted into opportunities for people to work, to earn income, to find jobs, to earn a livelihood. Therefore, in this meeting which we have today with the stakeholders, we seem to agree that actually an investment needs to be done. And opportunities are there. It's important to link these people to the markets. It's not enough to train people in making handicrafts. It's not enough to train people in being good tour guides, in being good tour operators. It's not enough. It is only that story only ends when we train and also connect them to the market.
The Prime Minister of Okelalour Kingdom, Right Honorable Prince Oparangala, stated that the cultural institutions are the bedrocks of the Westnile tourism sector and that all stakeholders should play their individual roles so as to attract investors in order to develop the cultural potential of the Westnile region.
Today we're talking about the tourism potential of Westnile region and how we can work on it in such a way they can attract investors and support private sector so that it can help us to generate inclusive growth in the region. Cultural institutions are the bedrock for this development. How can cultural institutions help to develop the cultural potential of West Nile using the natural resources and historical facts that we have on the ground? Because tourism should be a culture-driven. It's up to us, sons and daughters of West Nile, and institutions here, like cultural institutions, local governments, and other tourism industry players, the tourists, the people who have hotels, the people who are running tour or the tour operators, to let it be known out there. In fact, Westnile is the place to come to. We've got 12 districts and 7 tribes. We speak different languages, but we have what we call unity in diversity. And this can help us to drive our tourism development agenda.
The Westnile tourism sector is facing inadequate and unskilled manpower with undeveloped, under-conserved natural resources and cultural heritage. This tourism stakeholder capacity building meeting provided a space for stakeholders within the Westnile region to discuss and validate key tourism drivers that will drive development in the region. Okumaringa Christine for Westnile Television, Nile Cast. And more in our stories. A new initiative to tackle mental health among children has been launched in Gulu District. Wangari Lead Programs is a 2-year pilot project that will support the young suffering from mental health related problems in both Gulu City and Gulu District respectively. Stephen Okello from Gulu reports more.
In the past, mental health was not a big burden in a Chule community, unlike these days where mental illness is eating both the young and the old like cancers.
We realized that 29% of youth or of children majorly screened in healthcare clinics do present symptoms of mental health, of which include depression, anxiety, stress, acting out, to mention but a few.
Some of the young people we have interacted with on the street of Gulu shared with Westnile Television their thought. Many blame this on limited parental guidance.
Most of us, in some ways, we are not getting all the parenting guidance and whatsoever we need. So, some of us, like if you're youth, you have to choose your own path in life. So some end up choosing the wrong way.
Jackson Okwara, who is a mobile money operator in one of the streets of Gulu City, added that the majority have become drug addicts and many perish in the hands of the mob after stealing or robbing from the locals.
And even they don't select, they just use anything they come across. Be it what, this marijuana, there's one they call mirunji, mira, even tobacco, many others. They're just using them, and on that, they are not feeding well. See? Some of them you find when they are taking those drugs without even eating. See? And you find maybe they can work out in a day, they have only a single meal for the whole day, but they take that drug then in excess.
The escalating number of mentally ill youth is not only affecting the locals, it is also becoming a big security threat to the city, which is giving a lot of hard time to the security personnel in Gulu City.
The rate at which young people are engaging in alcoholism is wanting. It has to be addressed. If you move in this city even by 7 in the morning, you'll find youngsters from the age of 17 up to 30 plus. That age which is supposed to be involved in in productive work, already drunk by morning. And these kids also spend the whole night on the streets. And that's the effort we have tried time and again to see that we calm them down and try to put them into their right places.
Was the term drug addict a common term among the Acholi community? As of today, according to Ruot Ongom Casemiro of Katong Chiefdom, drugs addiction and mental illness in general was not common in Acholi.
What we actually Sean no man bandeka with no with no pity or man chana cara enemy come down or do you macarne come the team Sean olu no je Maria def mo kem ene yo na churi ngeo kine tie arre makinywana nywana kwere machuli ngeo makelone olele.
Then, where is this escalating figure of mental health cases coming from? Ujarla Chambel explained how children were massively introduced to drugs and alcoholism while at internally displaced people camps during the LRA war in northern Uganda.
The way these alcoholic drinks made by the Asians were poured into the camp, those things were almost as free as the food being provided to the camp attendants by the World Food Program. The drinks were almost free, and that is why we are suffering the consequence. So you find that there is an intention that we should get the consequence that we are having now. Yes, that is the purpose. It was done just like that. It could have been regulated a long time ago. This thing is dangerous to society. It has to be regulated. And why didn't you do it?
Since then, several interventions by civil society organizations, government, and other entities to carve down the vice have been ongoing. And Gulu University, through Faculty of Psychiatry, was in partnership with several civil society organizations.
We started with mental illness. We had the NRECA project, and then we came to home care for mental illness. Our major focus, because of the Faculty of Psychiatry, has been on mental illness. We are doing quite a lot. And we also work with we provide psychosocial support training together with Center for Victims of Torture.
However, Children Care Uganda is piloting a program dubbed 1O Relief Project, a new initiative to fight mental health cases among young people in the region.
1O Relief Project is a project that focuses on promoting and building the mental health well-being and resilience among young people in northern Uganda. The project was started in 2022 August, and it's a pilot project that will run until 2024.
Mental health still remains a big burden in Uganda, and this calls for a collective effort to combat the vice. Stephen Okelo for Westnile Television, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories, councillors in Maricha district have expressed their opinions and passed recommendations concerning the electoral processes and activities in Uganda. In a meeting, Honorable Silva Drani, the councillor representing the people of Oleba Town Council to the district, requested Parliament to amend the law to allow women as the only people who vote for women members of Parliament in Maricha district. Osuta Yusuf and Farish Majid report.
Councillors of Maricha district, while attending a meeting organized by the Westnile Regional Civil Society Network that took place on Thursday this week, have expressed their opinions and passed recommendations concerning electoral processes and activities in Uganda. While addressing the gathering, Honorable Silva Drani, the councillor representing people of Oleba Town Council to the District Council, requested for Parliament to amend the law to allow women as the only people who should be able to vote for their representatives.
When you come to the women's representation, you find men are voting women. My point is, let the women MPs be voted by the women, because they go there and advocate for the issue of women. Making men to vote for women, for me, it's very unfair.
Honorable Diki Alema, the representative of the workers in the District Council, while comparing some of the positions like the RDCs, DSOs, DPCs, among others which he said they are doing the same work, and of which some are not performing, he went ahead to recommend the government to trim on some of these positions in order to save the taxpayers' money.
My proposal in regard to that is, if we could, away from Parliament, there are also some key areas in government position, things to do with the resident district commissioner, the DSO, the GISOs, then looking at the other side of the DPC, the OC, police station, and what have you. I see these people doing the same work.
Honorable Asea Bosco, the councillor representing people of Agai Town Council to the Maricha District Council, requested for a need to have an independent commission set to review on the earnings of the members of Parliament, as he blames the law for giving them all the powers to decide on how much money they earn.
I have tried myself to go through a number of legal documents to consult about the powers embedded within the Constitution that has mandated the legislators to allocate resources for themselves. have not got it. And this has been the prominent issue and the cause that has really affected our elections. Because a member of parliament can spend any amount of money during election period and is aware that once he or she succeeds, he's bound to get the rewards. And this has led to our MPs not even opposing each other when it comes to allocating their benefit.
Similarly, Honorable Paul Drasiku appealed for reduction in candidate nomination fees at the district level, as he recommends for the recruitment to be through the District Service Commission, of which should be only for one term.
The manner in which electoral commission members at the district level below have been recruited, there is no clear way these people who play a very important role go into the system. They are being appointed through other systems, mainly those who are close to the ruling party. I will propose that let these people be recruited through District Service Commission, and the term of office be also limited within one term.
To tame issues of not being able to speak in Parliament, Nyadi South Sub-County Councillor to the District Council, Honorable William Drimbaku, asked government to focus on the quality of education of the contestants, especially those vying for the top positions of responsibility.
And more in our stories. Emyoga Sacco leadership in Moyo District engaged in a fact-finding meeting in the Moyo District Council Hall about the progress and challenges hindering the development and the operation of SACCOs in the district. The meeting was chaired by the Moyo District Resident District Commissioner, in which 100 Emyoga Sacco group leaders in the district were in attendance. Okumu Dominic reports.
The Emyoga Sacco leadership in Moyo District have been engaged in a fact-finding meeting about the progress and the challenges hindering the development and the operation of the SACCOs in the district. The meeting that took place in the District Council Hall was organized and chaired by the Resident District Commissioner Moyo, in which over 100 Emyoga Sacco group leaders in the district were in attendance. Mr. Gore Goffin, the Resident District Commissioner, who also doubled as the chairperson of the meeting, said he has called the meeting to let the groups know that he is going to give his time to support Emyoga by visiting the Emyoga groups and talking to some of the members who need his help.
I also want to say that from today I called you in this meeting to let you know that I am going to give my time to support Emyoga. I want to visit your Emyoga group. Where you think you need support, I can talk to your members. I can address them to also understand what the challenges are. Why are they not recovering? Why are they giving up? You know, others have given up. Why should they give up? So I want to understand why are people not remitting back the loans they have picked? What is the challenge with the Emyoga? You as an Emyoga executive, what are the challenges? I have heard here you are talking about offices being a problem. Yes, if you are not recovering money, then you don't have the other extra money which you can use for paying rent.
Mrs. Drichiru Monica, the commercial officer, Moyo Town Council, advised the Emyoga group members to cooperate in their groups, and once they have given out money to their members, they should follow them immediately so that they can recover the loans timely.
We agreed with the auditors to at least have it at a range of 300,000, because they are requesting for 500,000. So we agree with them to help you at least do it at 300,000. And since they were doing it massively, like if today they are stationing in Moyo, they have all the Moyo circles audited. But that one also depended on how ready you people are. That's why we are suggesting days that you give us days in which you people are ready, so that audit can be conducted successfully.
In the meeting, members also demanded clarification about the audit fee, which they said they did not hear about in the past. Mrs. Wanchan Jennifer, the relationship assistant at Microfinance Support Center Arua Zone, said they agreed with the auditors to have the audit at 300,000 instead of the 500,000 ceilings that was demanded by the auditors. The RDC, in his closing remarks, urged the people of Moyo to work on the issue of household income since the government is going to work on other infrastructures in the district.
Where is the challenge? And I want to ask you, all of you, the challenge is that people pick money and they had the expectation of where they want to invest their money. Others try to invest, but things did not work out. The money grew legs and wings and disappeared. Now the moment the money has disappeared, the person is now hiding. Now I want to assure you that hiding is not the solution. Yes, you can hide because the pressure is too much, but come out and face the challenge and deal with it. One of the key issues right now which I see in Moyo, which I want all of you to work on, is the issue of household income, money in your pockets. This is what the president is emphasizing. Government is going to work on the roads. Government is working on schools, health centers, building a very magnificent market here. But if you have no money in your pocket, you will not use this tarmac road we are crying about. You will not use this Laropi bridge.
Ever since the presidential initiative on wealth and job creation, Emioga, was launched in August 2019 by the government, over 100 Emioga groups were formed and benefited from the initiative in Moyo district. But however, only a handful of the groups are still struggling to survive. Meanwhile, many of the groups don't show any signs of existence, something that has made the resident district commissioner Moyo to intervene. In the meeting, the members came up with a number of resolutions, such as calling meetings for the leaders, writing demand notes to those members who have failed to pay back their loans, and involving the police in tracking the loan defaulters, among others, so that the groups can be revived. I'm Dominic Anthony Okumu, reporting from Moyo District.
NILE CAST program. My name is Oracle Benson Pastore, and you are most welcome for the sports segment. In one of the stories we have got for you today, the Chief Executive Officer for NILE FC has given green light on the current state and the future of the club. This is the 4th Division League club that's based in Jeffrey. In the last 2 seasons, they have been attempting to cross over to the next tier of Ugandan football, that's the Westnile Regional League, but they have been thrown in the preliminary stages because of violating the rules of the tournament. Let's have the compiled story.
We are currently still in the 4th division of the Arua DFA. Currently we are for off-season and the management is well aware of what's happening. We shall come out with a press release of everything which happened last season. The way we have ended our 2 seasons have not been to the expectations of our fans. So we are really organizing ourselves very well so that we can come and explain everything to the fans, because we feel we've not given our best to them in terms of qualification to the next level, as in, let me say, the regional league. Most players are there. I can tell you the truth. Some of the players are for trials at Onduparaka, others have gone for trials to other regional league clubs. In the evaluation process, we are going to evaluate that and we shall add on, if at all they are to leave, because players do move here and there to different clubs. We shall add on those other players where necessary. Let's get the courage and collect ourselves again and come back stronger. The only hope I can give my fans, they should expect the best this time. Trust me, that's the only word I can tell them. I know words can't convince them right now, but that's the only word I can tell them.
Meanwhile, away from that, in more of our stories, the ongoing that is hosted by Australia and New Zealand will get done tomorrow. One of the games that was played today, the 3rd playoff final between Australia and Sweden. Sweden, of course, went on to beat Australia by 2-0. If you take a look at how they proceeded up to the playoffs final, in the semi-finals, Australia were beaten by England by 3-1. Meanwhile, for Sweden, they lost into the hands of Spain by 2-1. Now the biggest of it will be taking place tomorrow, the final of it, which will kickstart at 1 p.m. and it will be a game between Spain and England, the first of its kind. We are seeing the 2 countries proceeding to the finals of the Women's World Cup. Away from that, to finalize with what is taking place in the English Premier League, updates of English Premier League games have been played since yesterday and today, and Manchester United, before I give you the results of the other games that have already been played, just a few minutes now they will be taking on Spurs. Starting with the results of the games that have already been played. Yesterday night there was one game on the card. It was between Nottingham Forest and the team Sheffield United. Nottingham Forest beat Sheffield United by 2-1. And today so many games have already taken place. Liverpool went on to thrash Bournemouth by 3-1. They came from a goal down to beat Bournemouth by 3-1. A game in which Mark Allister, newly signed midfielder for the team of Liverpool from Brighton and Hove Albion, earned a red card. Still continuing with the results of the games that have already taken place in English Premier League, Brighton and Hove Albion picked it from where they left last weekend, registering the same scoreline against Wolves at Molinex. Last weekend was a 4-1 win for them over newly promoted side Luton, and again today they have demolished Wolves by 4-1. There was supposed to be a game between Luton Town and Burnley, and that game has been postponed. Still in more of the results, the team Brentford ran riot over Fulham, demolishing them at Private Cottage. The game ended by 3-0 rather. As I said, a few minutes from now, Manchester United will be traveling to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on Spurs. And after that, the last game to be played today in English Premier League will come tonight at 10 p.m. as Manchester City at Etihad will host Newcastle. And then the English Premier League will bounce back tomorrow with the 2 games on the card, as Aston Villa at Villa Park will have to bounce back from that home lesson they had into the hands of the Magpies last weekend as they say hi to Everton. And the last game to be played tomorrow will be at 6:30 as West Ham will be hosting the team, that's Chelsea. And the last game to be played in English Premier League over this weekend will be a Monday night football between Arsenal as they will be welcoming the side Crystal Palace. With that, we have come to the end of today's edition of Sports News at Westnile TV. My name remains Oracle Benson Pastore, and thanks for always watching Westnile TV.
Thank you, Oracle Benson Pastore, for that sports news and that sports highlight. And with that, we are welcome to the end of the Nile Cast on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the Nile Cast to the end of the Nile Cast, only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumringa Christine. Have a good day.